to our question. Engines, fuel?
Soaring and gliding doesn't need any engines, doesn't need any fueling.
Okay.
So no engines, no fueling, that I will approve.
Okay.
But everything that has got a small model, you have to think of a bigger model that the same person who thought about it would be thinking of. You made the Eiffel Tower, and then you are selling trinkets of key holders of Eiffel Tower. Same idea. But why would the ancient Egyptian think or have the concept of going up? Because he's always saying, I'm going up. Read any of the religious texts. I was in my cockpit, my wings, fire is coming out from, he's explaining something in his mythology of a huge bird that he is on as the king.
What does that mean?
That means that he had the concept of flying. He looks at the falcon and he calls the king the golden falcon. Nebher. Neb Nebu, Noba, Nob Nebu, the land of gold. Right? Her is Horus. So every living king on the throne of Egypt was the golden Horus. So you are a falcon. And what does the falcon do? It flies.
Flies.
The ibis bird, the bird of wisdom, the bird of knowledge, the bird of science, the birds of search, has got relation to medicine, has got relation to writing. All that was ancient Egypt. He looks at those millions of ibises that lives on the banks of the river Nile. And he looks at those beautiful wings soaring all the way. Geese, 6 geese of Maydum in the Old Kingdom. Perfect drawing of something that you would put in a dictionary of, or an encyclopedia of birds. By the feather, by the color.
The M in hieroglyphics is an owl.
Is an owl. So the detail of him studying those birds is out of this world. So don't tell me that a character that lives with birds and always concentrating with the sky and the sun is always the center of his belief, and he's never believing one day, oh, well, can I be one of these? Plus, when the king was dead, very little that you will read in ancient Egypt, our king is dead. The falcon has risen. So it's all about...
We use the same terms when someone is dead.
The takeoff. The takeoff from this level to the higher level. From the ground to heavens. So why wouldn't it be, why should it be surprising to us that this character thousands of years ago would try to invent something that can take him up there practically and not mythologically? Because
but there is no proof.
There is no proof. Of course, it's the theory,
because
my dear.
I was going to say that maybe they use that in poetry, in lyrics, and in things like that.
Definitely.
Maybe it is just theories.
Of course. And that's why it's a theory. 1997, I had my second Sphinx theory. 2016, second Sphinx theory. I didn't put it as a fact.
Yeah.
When would it be a fact? When I take you by the hand and your cameras, and I show you the remainings of the second Sphinx under the sand, near the Sphinx of today. Then I will be having the guts, the scientific guts, to come and sit on this sofa and tell you my remaining second Sphinx theory now is a fact. Same idea with this. But could it be something else? Let's take a look at the picture. Could it be something else? Oh, yes, it could. One, it could be a toy. Have you ever thought about that? A toy, child's toy. Something like toys, like when you were young, they would bring you an airplane and you would throw it. It could be,
most
right?
likely.
That's number 2. Number 3, it could be a weather van. Weather van, wind van. Van here is not a fan. It's not a fan. It's a van, V-A-N-E. What's a weather van? Do you know those peacocks with arrows that they put at the top of buildings to show you where is the wind coming from? And it goes like, you see it in the movies abroad, and it will give you its north, west, the wind coming, I don't know from where. That's a weather van. It's an object that you put at the top of high buildings to give you the direction of the wind, left or right, north or south. And people will look at the arrow rotating and they will know where is the wind coming. That's a weather van. And by the way, also abroad, the word weather van, for a lighter note, is used as a slang word for a politician who changes his opinions.
Yeah.
He's a weather van. He's according to the wind.
But this object, sir, I think it's made with mathematic accuracy that would give us the impression that it's not a toy. I mean, whenever we measure it in a way, its length to its height to its, I mean, those ratios, I don't think that they are going to be that accurate if it is made just to be a toy.
One gentleman made a replica,
yeah,
and he flew it. And he went out from this experiment saying, this object would never have flown in ancient Egypt. He rejects the idea.
Okay.
Because it failed to him. One, two, dimensions. Another study made that the left wing were not equal. Were not equal in measurements. Which, don't despair, because it will give you another gate to open. What? That this could be a boomerang. You know, the boomerang, that throwing stick, that you would throw it and it would go all the way and then it will return to you.
Yeah.
And in order for it to return to you, you have to make one part of the wing shorter than the other. Yeah. So that it can take that turn or that detour, if you like. So even
Which
in
is
those...
also an attempt.
Now, the weather van, back to the weather van, it could have been placed at the top of boats. Ships in ancient Egypt, boats, barks, vessels. And by putting it at the top right there, the captain will be looking at it, and according to the movement of the wing, he will be knowing where the wind is coming from. That's another proposition. All in all, at the end, it should be giving you the idea of the questions we need to answer. Number one, why are we having only one? Why didn't we find more of those models? Two, it is the only one, and if you go to the Egyptian Museum, you'll notice that all the falcons beside it are different. And they all have the wings of a bird, not the perpendicular one. Still a question mark, still working on it, and that keeps us on our toes as researchers.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time, and on a promise again from you that you will come next week at the same time to elaborate more, if you like, or we can open another box and explore with the secrets from ancient Egyptian history. Mr. Bassam Shammaa, historian of archaeology, would like to thank you very much for coming over this morning.
Thank you.
And have a very good day.
You too, my dear.
And I guess we're going to go to a short break and we'll come back to you, so you stay with us.